Hey, it's Timescark11 with the results and recap of the Lost Ones Draft League Season 1, the first draft league I've hosted and participated in. So first off, I'll go over the placements of everyone. I ended up being the winner with 7 wins, 1 win by forfeit. And 0 losses. So I had 7 wins, 1 by forfeit, and 0 losses, putting me at first place, which I was really surprised with because I didn't expect to do so well in the first ever draft league I was in, especially with a couple of opponents that had been in draft leagues before. So tied for second and third place is the Penn State Hacksauruses from Arcanine9, coach Arcanine9. Also, forgot to mention my team, the Torgoff Typhlosions. So second place, the Penn State Hacksauruses with 5 wins, 1 from a forfeit, and 2 losses. Third place, I mean, really, this was just an automated thing giving the placements, so I should have gone over this myself, but technically second place should have been the New Jersey Ninjasks because of 5 wins with only 1 forfeit, and actually Penn State Hacksauruses had 2 of their wins from forfeits. Or, yep, 2 wins from forfeits for Penn State Hacksauruses, while New Jersey Ninjasks had just. Wait, no, that's. They both had 2 forfeit wins, actually. So they are tied. They both had 2 wins via forfeit and 2 losses. So 5 wins, 2 by forfeit, and 2 losses each. Fourth place is the Montclair Miniors with 4 wins and 3 losses. 1 win came from a forfeit. This is because everyone got 1 forfeit win for various reasons, because there was one person that only got their first 2 matches done, and then they just never showed up after that. And then there was 2 people that forfeited their matches in both rounds 7 and 6. And I forgot to mention the coach of New Jersey Ninjasks was Sola, and Montclair Minior's coach is Lazy Robot. Fifth place is Golden Gate Gliscors by the coach Eshin Blue, with 3 wins, 4 losses, 1 win from a forfeit. Sixth place, London Lycanrocs, coach Cairo, 2 wins and 5 losses, 1 win by a forfeit. And tied for 6th and 7th is Roman Raids, coach Taffy, also 2 wins, 5 losses, 1 win by a forfeit. And in last place is 0 wins, 7 losses, 5 of those by forfeit, is the Cleveland Croconaws with coach Special Kittens. So that's the placement of everyone in the league, and I'm also just going to go over the Pokemon that I used during the league and which ones turned out to be most useful. So I'd say the second most useful ended up being Aaron, just because of the sheer offensive pressure that he put on. He was one of the best offensive Pokemon in the entire season, between all the teams, I mean. I never had to change any of his moves because there's not really much else he could have used anyway. This was the Charizard that I started using At the beginning of Sun and Moon, well, no, towards the beginning, right after Bank opened up and I could start transferring things over, because at the time I did not have enough breeding materials in Sun and Moon yet. So I bred him in Oraz and then sent him up. Or rather, I could breed in Sun and Moon. It was that prior to getting enough festival coins, there was no way I could have leveled stuff up. It was just way too hard to level stuff up in the beginning of Sun and Moon. So next is Homura Akemi. There was two versions of her that I used. This is the Jolly one, the main one that I was using for most of the matches. So she came in especially handy. She ended up being the instrument to winning at least 2 matches, I think. And so not quite the MVP though, because I'll get to that in a minute, but very, very useful. One of the most important Pokemon that I had on my roster. So Ribombee did not come in especially handy. Well, I mean, overall, but there was one match, I think, one of my first few matches where Sticky Webs was instrumental in winning. So I got her from one of the breeders, one of the original breeders at my competitive server where I had the draft league. I got her before the league started. Most of these Pokemon I had before the league started. Pretty much just 2 of them I got after the league started. So I got her originally because I wanted to use Ribombee after a featured Smogon team had it listed as a really good partner for Mimikyu. Also, I forgot to mention, this Homura Akemi, Homura Akemi, I got from the Shiny Breeder at the competitive server. I got her because the original Shiny Mimikyu I had, which I got on Miiverse, was adamant and I really wanted a Jolly one, and I was having no luck breeding it. So then, next thing, Milotic ended up being one of the least useful Pokemon, actually. I forget where I got the original. I think it was. I forget if it was someone on Discord or if it was Miiverse that I got her. I think it was Miiverse. Yeah, it had to be Miiverse because I wasn't on Discord yet. Back in the beginning of Sun and Moon. So, the least useful Pokemon, honestly, which was really surprising because in regular battles, Milotic ends up being really, really important. I think it was largely due to the fact that there was not many fire types in the league in general. Most people did not have fire types. There was only one person that had a bunch of fire types. And very few others had any at all. So this was the other version of Luca that I was running. This was just for one match. I was running her same exact set as the other one, except for one move difference and the hidden ability, because this one was for countering Landorus. And the Typhlosions I used, this was the main Typhlosion I used. This one I bred specifically once the league started because I did not have a Flashfire one yet. I'd been using Blaze forever. And this one has the old set that I was running back in Oraz, which I stopped using in Sun and Moon because of Solar Beam, not having Mega Charizard Y on every team now, so I didn't have Solar Beam on my other Typhlosions. But since I was running it in the league with Mega Charizard Y as my main Pokemon that I was using, then I had to have Solar Beam on it. Then this was the other Typhlosion. I forget if I actually used this or not. I think I may have used this in one battle against someone that had a Tapu. So exact same set, just Nature Power instead of Solar Beam, and Blaze instead of Flash Fire. And next thing is Sinanju. Really didn't come in especially useful. Honestly, I drafted Scizor mostly as a fear tactic. Basically just to the fact that I had Scizor and could use it, so that would prevent other people from using a lot of stuff that would be weak to it. And Bullet Punch was just very useful. Of course, I was not running Scissorite during the league, but normally when not in the league, I have Scissorite on it. The next thing, this was one of the most useful Pokemon that I was running. Of course, I was running it as normal type at the time during the league, since I drafted Silvally normal, was Barbatos. So the coverage it provided was just really, really useful. This was the only Silvally I got that I actually obtained myself in one of the many Files of Moon that I restarted. The others I got after the league started for different sets, because this one is a speed set. This one is the exact same thing, but with investment in HP instead of speed. And then I got this one for a specific match where I didn't need coverage, I needed something bulky. Yeah, this was for my last match. The last match in the league, I used this one. So Barbatos was very, very useful overall. The next thing I had, well, on this page at least, this was definitely my MVP. Kaminari was the most important Pokemon that I had during the entire league. He just kept coming in handy every single match except for the last one where he would have been useless, so I didn't bring him at all. But I've got to say that he was definitely the MVP of the season. Just the sheer bulk they had compared to most of the other teams. The ability to wall so much of what the other teams had, plus being a core along with Mega Charizard Y, just probably the biggest reason that I was able to win so many matches. And Miss Kobayashi, she wasn't especially useful, but in the matches where I used her, she was pretty important, I guess. So I got this a long time ago back on Miiverse in pretty early Sun and Moon days. Really not much to say about what she did, because I honestly don't remember. I just remember her being important in at least one match. And I got this from one of the original breeders at my competitive server, who was also the reason for the breeding service to start there in the first place. They were pretty much the breeder on Miiverse. So here's the other Homura Akemi. This is one that I won as a prize for a tournament on Miiverse. So this version of her was especially useful in one match where I needed to hit much harder, and that Adamant for Jolly made the difference of a KO or not. So next, Ava 1, not especially useful, but good for the coverage. Was able to swap her moves around. Well, technically to him, but it's supposed to be an Ava, so I imagine it's actually a female, even though it has to be a Nidoking. just because it's Nidoking, and that's the coloring with the horn. But come on, look at it. It's Ava Unit 1. But anyway, very useful with the coverage, at least in a couple matches. And I think that was everything that I had on the roster. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else here that I used. I'm pretty sure that was everything. Alright, Raichu. So, Raichu was there just so that the person running Coco Lucia wouldn't get Raichu. I'm sorry. I couldn't draft Coco, so Raichu was useless. It was just a deterrent. I'm so sorry, Rin. But anyway, yeah, she was actually the most useless Pokemon. But considering that I drafted her for a specific reason, and that was to deal with Coco Lucia, I would say she did a pretty good job. And Milotic ended up being the one that was actually the most useless, because she didn't accomplish her job at all. Oh, and then Reuniclus. I don't think Reuniclus did much. In fact, I don't think I ever used Reuniclus during the league. I can't remember a match where I actually used her. But anyway, sorry for going on for a really long time with this. The second season of the league will be starting up soon. Drafting should be done this week, or going on this week, that is. And then should be starting up, the battles should be starting up mid-January at the latest. And I'll have a battle, my first battle, upload at least, well, at a minimum, a week after I have it. But first, I'll be having a roster video for Season 2 of what I ended up drafting. That'll be up sometime in early January. So, see you next time!